Yo, all right.
What's
Welcome
happening?
to a snowy Thursday here in Nueva York at Music Twindustry. I'm here with my brother Joel, and
Howdy.
we're sitting here with Mona Kayhan.
How's it going, guys?
She is one of the owners and operators of the Bridge Studio in Williamsburg, right?
That's
Excellent.
right.
It's an old bakery, right?
It's actually an old bean sprout factory.
Oh wow, even better.
Bean sprout? They grew bean sprouts inside a factory.
Apparently, I
Wow.
think it's the kind of beans where you don't really need sunlight. I do know
It's-
there was a water tank, which
Okay.
when we were drilling it down, we identified as the Triborough Bridge.
I'm surprised you guys didn't use it for an echo chamber or something like
Yeah.
that.
Funny you asked, we
Killer
actually
drums.
have a piece of it still installed in between our walls.
What? I've been there before, but I didn't ask these relevant questions.
No,
It's a beautiful place. You guys did an incredible job.
Thank you so much.
You would not know that all this expensive shit is right behind this brick wall.
Yes, we keep it pretty unidentifiable
Right,
outside,
right,
intentionally.
Right on.
Yeah, there's no neon sign that's like the Bridge Studios, expensive stuff here.
No.
Come in at
on
night.
in.
We also
Drop
did
your
a-
demo off.
Exactly. We also
Yeah.
keep the address off Google Maps, which in today's era of technology
Yep.
is a bold move and difficult to manage, but somehow we continue.
That's
As
good.
long as people have the address, you kind of assume that artists, producers, engineers, and so on aren't as stupid as they might be.
Everyone's been cool.
So when you were renovating the place, did you guys find any history of the building?
We have this little old Buddhist toy
Okay.
that was left behind, Buddha toy,
Okay.
and so that remains on our acoustic treatment in the back of our control room as
It's
like
meant to be
an
there.
ode to what was before us.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
I didn't know if you found sacks of beans or beans.
So,
We opened in 2018 and we survived COVID.
how did that happen?
Well, we started doing a lot of video content
Oh, good.
actually.
Amazing.
So
Amazing.
artists that couldn't play live anymore,
Yeah.
they were like, "Can you record us live in a room as if we're performing?"
Uh-huh.
And then they'll use that content piece for the Tonight
That's amazing.
Show.
Amazing.
Did a performance with an artist in our studio,
Mhm.
and then they would play that back live.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So the cool thing about it, especially that we learned on the job, essentially, is like the most optimal way to mic everything in
Yeah.
the room, which
Yeah.
is normally very difficult and not something you would want to do.
Yeah.
But our team is amazing and they figured it out. And
Who are some of the clients that you've been working with besides the Tonight Show and things like that?
oh man, so we work with all kinds of jazz, you know, Broadway artists,
Killer.
R&B, hip hop, everything under the sun. The Telescreens, which is a really cool emerging rock band. I highly recommend checking them out. The release that they will have out next is what they recorded entirely at our studio.
Killer.
We're-
Amazing.
And I've never seen such incredible musicianship and like a true rock
A
experience.
real band. That's
yeah,
good.
they
I
just
like a
like
real band.
rage for 2 weeks and it's gonna sound amazing.
And are
So,
they from New York too?
I think some of them are, and then the lead singer's like way of the UK.
Got
Awesome.
it.
Yeah.
By way of the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it.
Excellent.
Yeah, recorded all kinds of people from Jason Moran. All kinds of documentaries also
Killer.
filmed at our studio.
People like sitting there with
Yes.
with like dark and shadow behind them.
Yes,
and-
I get texts like the other day.
Yeah.
I just saw your studio on Netflix.
So what sadistic mind decided to go into commercial studio in 2018?
100%.
Such a difficult business.
It is, and I ask ourselves that daily. Definitely, it's a labor of love, but also a true commitment to continuing high quality audio
Yeah.
best practices. It's such an interesting model to look at alone. I little AirPods that we listen to, the degradation of sound from that, the compression that like versus Apple versus Tidal versus all the things.
100%.
So we think about that stuff all the time and how an audience or care at the end of the day.
Mhm.
That is the quintessential question, and I think our reasons to care.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Getting a craft, the making of the actual art. You
Yeah.
know?
Mm.
That's a-
Capturing of the actual art.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and there are so many beautiful ways in today's era with technology to make your own art without that, right?
Mhm.
And that's super important. I think should continue, but the studio is like that sacred, like temple to
Absolutely.
capture that
Totally
sound
agree.
experience.
Yeah, definitely
Exactly.
agree. Yeah.
So you,
Because Jason and I on the way over here, I was like, how do they make money? I
yeah,
was just wondering because so many people record in their bedroom
of course.
and
Right.
they don't have access to a studio like yours, which is like gotta be high end as hell.
It's
And-
beautiful.
and,
What
like,
kind of
real-
board are you guys using?
It's the Harrison 4032.
Awesome.
Bruce Sudian's one of his choice boards.
So we took all that shit for granted because we were like, that's how you made records then.
Yeah.
Your computer to
Right.
make records.
It
You
was-
had to go in the studio and cut it and then cut it again. And
Razor blades and
cut it
tapes.
again. And then like, if it sucked, you just had to go back and do it.
Do you find yourselves recording a lot of drums
Lot
over
of
things
drums.
that are already recorded?
Yes, that's like the niche there that
Yeah.
like is really hard to replicate.
Yeah.
I mean, use samples, like friends that work at like these sample companies.
Yeah.
do that. But I do have a theory, I will say.
Please
I
do.
think as AI generated music, the ubiquity of just and all of these things that are happening with music continues, that there will be this resurgence of valuing live music.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Will cut through the noise,
Yeah.
and I think it'll
I hope
only
to God you're right.
continue.
Yeah, the
I
premium
do.
product.
We were talking about this on another podcast where I said the beauty is in the mistakes. So it's all gridded out, like EDM music, where it's like, I made a track and it's perfect because it's just copy paste. I like hearing swing. I like hearing people
Not play the
make a
same drum
mistake,
kit,
like
or
they
it's the same
accidentally.
drum fill every
Some
single
of
time.
the best songs in music have been screwed up, and then we just got to like them that way.
You guys have a house recording band or anything like that?
That's so random.
I was like,
We got our what is it what's it called?
severe ADHD.
Yes.
It's poignant.
Our-
We do. It's called the Analog Players Society.
Nice.
It's a rotation of session players.
Killer.
Yeah, so we have
Well,
yeah.
if you ever want me to lay down on a cut,
Yeah.
happy to do one.
Remind me of your
Joel can
instruments.
come over and rap for
I do a
it.
Euro rap specifically, so
Yeah.
if you have any of those kinds of tracks,
Yeah.
that's when I need to be called
in
in.
mind.
That's
Yeah.
when he shines. Wait, so is your partner a producer? How does
My partner,
the
Nathan,
relationship work?
Yes, he is a chief engineer. He also produces and he
Okay.
mixes, and I'm on the business side.
Okay.
So people think it's probably a little odd that there'd be an owner of a recording studio that's not an engineer.
Not at all.
Not at
No,
all.
We owned a recording studio in
And we don't
Williamsburg,
know how to do that.
and we don't know how to do any of that.
What did you do before this?
Yeah, question.
Sure. So I've always worked in music.
Uh-huh.
Started out at a record label named Putumayo World Music.
Of course.
which
Love
only
that.
Are you kidding, dude?
Some people.
The
Oh
Cash
my God,
App
I used to
the
buy
Cash
that.
App. They had the earliest direct-to-consumer marketing.
Yeah.
I started there.
Amazing.
Putumayo was a
Yeah.
great label.
Yeah.
It really was. They were
Yeah.
ahead of their time. They were the pioneers of tastemaking.
They had
Yeah, I
some
agree.
good mix CDs.
They did. Loved it. I was there for 7 years.
Amazing.
And
Okay.
I ended up leading product development.
Mm.
So,
Okay.
and I did all the things in between, from sales, marketing to tour managing.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I worked at a place called Dub Spot.
Yeah.
which
Yeah, we
was
know
like
that. Let's get my turntables fixed there.
the quintessential New York City story happened, which the landlord put 30 days notice
Oh
on
my
our
God.
door and
That's
promised
when
us
you
we would
rage.
have. And my husband was running that project studio,
Oh,
wow.
Eamon, who's
Okay.
our now chief engineer,
Uh-huh.
founder with me. And that's where we had the choice to say we go big or we go home.
Yeah.
Right.
And you would think we would have gone home after a year of looking for a space.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he found a crazy place that
Mhm.
had all the bones. This is my passion and mission is I have the business and project management side.
Yep.
And I am a major advocate for just art being made.
Yeah.
And I can make that happen. I've been trying to figure out what my superpower is
Yeah.
in that regard.
We're trying to empower people to do whatever it is that they do well.
Which is why
Yeah.
I think you guys are awesome.
Oh,
That's why.
Likewise. Yeah, the studio business I think is fantastic if you can keep it alive. And
Is it shrinking? Like, are there less to go with? And
Yes. Ironically, I'm talking with MOM at New York City to do a survey
oh wow.
of the recording studio industry. I think the last one that they really reviewed was in 2018. So what's next for that?
Mhm.
It'd be good for New York to just, for all of us to understand
Correct.
the landscape
Yeah.
today.
Sarah Gaines in here
I'm Cher Gans.
who
Yeah.
works at the mayor's office. And we were like, why don't you have the Made in New York logo on albums?
I saw that.
Why- I'm not putting her on blast by any
No,
means.
she's awesome.
She's awesome.
she doesn't control that stuff.
Yeah. The only places that I can think of that I would want to record in New York would be Europe or Flux.
Mm-hmm.
Truthfully.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
there's actually a few.
Yeah.
It's important so that we have a unified voice
Indeed.
and we all are in it to do the same
You
mission.
can also
that
trade
we're
work too, because there's oftentimes a friend of ours, Manny Acosta. He's got a place in Acosta Park, and he bought the Hit Factory. So he's actually building 8 rooms at the old Hit Factory, and I'm like, how are you that? And he's got the pulse on hip hop and R&B. He's got 2 rooms, and they're always. So he's down business, and I'm like, dude, go make a deal with another.
Yeah.
Get some of that business. Take 20%.
Take
Just
a percentage.
throw it over to him.
There's that needs to
Yeah.
happen.
Mhm.
It's almost a co-op, right?
It is. They need to stick together.
Yeah.
One voice, it's
Yeah,
more powerful
absolutely.
at the end of the day.
Move in the same direction.
That's
Yeah.
right. Now,
Right.
I also do have another disruptive model I'm working on,
What
which
is
I'd
it?
love to share with you because
Please.
I'm these guys have amazing brains. Let's see what they think.
Yeah, yeah.
There's also sort of misnomer that, it's 2 weeks, you have to be in the studio,
Oh.
it's expensive, and I
Mhm.
want to do a whole album, it's, whatever amount.
Sure.
I truly believe for the artists that I'm very supporting, which are the ones that can play like badass live,
Mhm.
right? Like they
Yeah.
move an audience. They don't
It's
need
not
to
just
do
a studio
retakes,
project.
not just a project, which is great.
Yeah,
Of course,
yeah,
it's a totally different thing.
No, I agree.
That we do to have a big room, which is rarer in New York. A 15-minute on through our tape machine, our Studer, 2 15-minute performances sets for an audience.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it's like then you have the energy exchange, the imperfections, like you were talking about, that make this special, that cut through the noise, captured in a hi-fi way.
Yep.
You know, you can't taking a board multi-track recording from a live commercially really release
No,
that.
not at all.
You just can't, but you can with ours.
It's not unlike Peel.
Yeah,
the radio stage was the BBC one in the UK. Do the Peel sessions, which would be like Susie and the Banshees coming in and actually playing on the BBC radio, but through their board.
Yeah.
And then those were actually like commercially released because they were so viable and listenable. There was no feedback and there's no like audience screaming, and it hasn't been done in a long time. So I mean, I think it's, and the music scene in New York, I think, is like pull in great repertoire.
Yeah.
You know, like all sorts of different acts.
And the cool, you just do it one night.
Totally.
You're just doing studio time. Technically, if you think about it that way, just one day, one night, and you could even ticket the people that come in.
Sure.
Absolutely.
$50 a pop.
Yep.
Donate what you want.
Absolutely.
Pay what you want. You want it more towards the artist.
Let's do it.
You know.
We're here to help you. So, yeah.
We're here to help you. Let's do it. Awesome.
It'll be called Live from the Bridge.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Are you guys near the bridge? I couldn't remember.
We are. By the
Okay.
Williamsburg Bridge.
Right. The parking around there is horrible. Is there a website?
There is. bridgerecordingstudio.com.
And maybe we'll show a couple stills of different rooms.
This one here and this one here.
This one right here.
Right here.
This one down here.
Another one over here.
Over here.
Yeah, these are popping
Little
out.
bubbles.
Look how great this
Looks
looks.
amazing. Do you develop anything? Do you ever believe in an artist so much that you're going to become a partner in their music?
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's
Once
almost
in
like
a
a
while.
production company.
So
Yeah.
Yes. I've been wanting to do that for a long time. One of my pipe dreams is actually to start some kind of production company. It would be focused on female artists from the MENA region.
Oh, amazing.
Nice.
Middle East, Northern Africa.
Yeah.
That's
So
excellent.
basically partnering with to, sponsor their projects, and into the era of how to break down that partnership has been just reviewing.
Yeah, it's
carefully.
fantastic. It's a really rich scene. If you didn't know, like every major label is investing in MENA. They're trying to get repertoire because a lot of it does translate globally. Even the local language stuff, because of the diaspora of other people around the world.
Yeah, and I think a female artist in that region is it's so cool
That's fantastic.
to watch. I went to a show that gave me the idea. That was our
Oh, nice.
show. She's this Palestinian and Chilean artist, vocalist, and it was an incredible show. And I've seen something like that, to be honest. Literally, I've never seen anything like it.
Mike and I went to what did we go to this summer in Park Slope in Prospect Park?
Oh yeah.
That was awesome.
That
It was
was
like
awesome.
a Middle Eastern concert. So it was like people playing, full band, traditional instruments. It was popular people too. It
Yeah.
was really well attended. It was awesome. So what about on the IG and so on? You got the Bridge Studios.
Yes, it's actually To the Bridge,
To the Bridge.
NYC.
At to the Bridge.
NYC.
Hope you do get the ground.
Yeah,
if you
that'd
ever
be
help
really cool.
releasing records, to come to Earth Program.
That's right.
That's right.
That's what we do here, by the way. We release records, and so if you have a recording project or need distribution, give us a whack at earthprogram.com.
Earth
Great team
Program
here.
NYC.
Yeah, at the,
Earth Program Music NYC.
I don't know, dude.
Earth Program Music.
Earth Program Music.
It's
Thank
at
you.
earthprogram.
All right. Hey, thank Mona so much
Yeah,
from
this
Bridge
was a great
Studios
episode.
in Williamsburg,
Thank you.
Brooklyn, being here today and on this snowy Thursday, and we're going to go get hot chocolate.
Awesome.